Hey, how's it going everybody? I'm Stitch, and I like solo running Pokemon Black and White. So last week we had our first little versus matchup of the series where I pitted Conkeldurr against Gigalith, and that was a ton of fun. So yeah, definitely go check that one out. I think it was a really well done video in my opinion, and I put a lot of work into it, so getting you to watch it would be awesome. So as we bring in the tier list though, we do see that they both performed very well. Of course, Conkeldurr, fighting types are absolutely broken in this game. Only held back a little bit by one little mistake that I made with a reset, and it does have to evolve up, so it takes things a little slower than some of the really broken stuff on the tier list so far, but incredibly good. And honestly, Gigalith did a lot better than I thought it would. Yeah, it's a very slow Pokemon. It doesn't have a way to boost its attack, but it's pretty strong and it can take a lot of hits, and that's pretty cool. So overall, I was very happy with both of those runs, and all the Pokemon that you see on this tier list do have videos on the channel, so if you see anything that piques your interest, feel free to check out that playlist that's linked down below at the end of the video and on that little iCard thing that popped up. But be sure to stick around, because today we are going to be starting another little mini marathon where we're going to be playing with all three of the Unova dragons and starting things off with Reshiram. So this Pokemon is, of course, the mascot of Pokemon Black. It has an incredible design. Sure, it's very straightforward, just a giant white dragon, but I don't know, I love it. So it's definitely my favorite of the three, and it's also the favorite of Speedrunner 0218. So go check him out. It's his favorite overall Pokemon. It's also his birthday this week, so I did kind of adjust to how I normally do things, where I just wanted to shout out him in this little intro section. So of course, this Pokemon is not really going to struggle. It doesn't have to evolve. It's a main box art legendary, the first one that we've done in this series, and it's going to be probably a pretty quick run. So let's go ahead and get things started and see how Reshiram does in its home Pokemon Black. As we get things started here, let's break down what we're working with. So of course, Reshiram is absolutely absurd. It is a box legendary. It's going to be the first one that we've done in the series. And yeah, it's really good. As in the stat department, we have only one stat under 100, and 90 base speed is more than enough to work with. 100 HP with 100 defense and 120 special defense. We're going to be tanking hits very well, and even a 120 base physical attack is really strong, but 150 special attack is just ridiculous. We haven't run anything that's even remotely close to that in the series so far. So yeah, we are a fully dedicated special attacker for the most part. As for our typing, we're rocking Dragon Fire. Fire types, despite having a lot of problems in the late game potentially, think of all like the sturdy stone edges that we have to run into and stuff, and some of the resistances. It's not really been too much of a hindrance, but granted, we have been running pretty good fire types like Victini and Darmanitan, and I don't think that Reshiram is going to have any of those problems at all. For one, of course, we have our dragon typing helping compensate that, giving us another really strong secondary stab, but we also have the ability Turbo Blaze, which this is basically just a clone of Mold Breaker with a cooler name, and it just lets us ignore abilities. So all of those sturdy Pokemon that have Stone Edge, like the Carracosta on N's team or Marshall Sock, we can just power right through them if we have enough damage to one-shot. And yeah, spoiler alert, we're going to have the damage to one-shot those things. So yeah, it's ridiculously strong. As for the starting moves, we start off with Fire Fang and Dragon Rage. Of course, Dragon Rage in the early game is absolutely broken. Pretty much it's going to one-shot everything, so that's pretty cool. And as we make our way through, we'll pick up Ancient Power, Extrasensory later on for some coverage. We get Flamethrower incredibly early at level 22, and that's going to be, of course, our go-to Fire type stab for quite a while, and even Dragon Breath at 29. So some pretty early game pickups right there, not half bad. At level 50, we do get our signature move, Infusion Flare. It is a little bit stronger than Flamethrower, but only 5 PP, so I'm kind of hesitant how much that's going to be used. And then of course Dragon Pulse is going to be our go-to, dragon type stab later on in the game. As for the TM side of things, we get Shadow Ball for some coverage, Flame Charge, Focus Blast if we really feel like we need to go out of the way for that, but I don't think that we're going to be picking up very many TMs. So as we wrap things up, we are going to touch on the Dragon Rage thing. So after we get healed in Accumulant Town here, we do have 11 mandatory Pokemon that we have to take care of until the gym leader. So all we have to do is just make sure that we use Fire Fang to knock out one of them, and I chose to do that on N's Pearl Lane right there. So now everything else is going to just get completely one-shot by Dragon Rage. So let's skip right through Bianca and our Cheren, excuse me, all the gym trainers, and just go straight to our first gym. Of course, we have 2 Dragon Rages left just for Crest, so we're just going to plow right through that. So this is just going to give me some time to say, hey, if you guys have noticed, I think my emulator is actually running a little bit faster. So that means that I have actually updated my settings just to kind of optimize things a little bit better. And yeah, my emulator is actually running a little bit faster, which means that my times will actually be skewed. Does that mean that I now have to go back and re-rank everything that I've done already up to this point? Yeah, probably. So look forward to, the tier list changing a lot. So after we deal with the gym and get contracted by Fennel, we're going to buy our repels and super potions and heal up to top off those Dragon Rages, head into the Dream Yard. So of course we're going to grab our little monkey friend right here, cut down a tree, beat up the Plasma Goons, and then head out towards Route 3. Cheren, of course, is going to be no problem. Oshawott still doesn't have enough HP to live a Dragon Rage, so just a couple Dragon Rages is going to knock him out, so we can chase the Plasma guys into the Wellspring Cave, catch a couple of HM friends. On our way through Route 3, we're going to grab that glitched rare candy and head into Nacrene City. As we make our way through Nacrene, we're just going to make a quick pit stop into Pinwheel Forest. We're just going to battle the nurse so we can have that healing spot set up, and an ether just in case I run a little low on Dragon Rages as we make our way through the gym. Before we fight N though, I do need to grab that charcoal in the house over to the left. This of course is going to be our go-to held item. Fire is our go-to stab from now on, and we don't really need any other real item as we make our way through. Of course, N and the gym trainers are completely free. We now have made it to the point where Dragon Rage isn't just one-shotting everything, so we're kind of having to two-shot some things every now and then, but no problems whatsoever. So let's go ahead and face off with our second gym leader. So for Lenora, I have swapped in a Chesto Berry just in case. I'm not really too afraid of this fight. Sure, we're a little under-leveled maybe, but that doesn't really matter. We can just power right through. We don't even actually have to worry about the hypnosis because, she didn't hit us with one. So cool. Got our second gym badge. Let's get on out of here and watch the Plasma dude steal a skull for some reason, chase them into Pinwheel Forest. What do you know? Absolutely nothing interesting is going to happen into Pinwheel Forest, so we're going to go cross that beautiful Skyra Bridge and head into Castalia City. Big city time. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight to the gym. Start the little Plasma side sequence and just burn down Berg's gym. So yeah, let's go ahead and just skip straight to it because there is literally nothing interesting that happens in this little section of the game. Straight to our third gym leader. We're a really powerful fire type. Berg is a bug type trainer. I'm not really worried about this. I do see that I'm running out of Dragon Rages, but that's okay. We just made it to level 22 after we, knock out that Whirlwind, and we're just going to burn down everything. So we even outspeed the Levani. That's pretty cool, not bad. Even get in another extra level up to 23, and there we go. We have 3 gym badges, just over 19 minutes. This is absolutely ridiculous time that we're making right here. So let's go ahead, head out to Route 4. Bianca's no problem. Cheren's no problem. I actually don't stop at the healing house, which I think was a little bit of a mistake, and we can go straight into Nimbasa City. After chasing off the plasma dudes, we get a bike from some old guy, have a quick chat with Bianca, and then we're set free into Nimbasa to do little chores. So first up, we're going to stop by the Pokemon Center and heal up. Like I said, I do think it was a little bit of a mistake to take the heal here because I didn't really need the hyper potions that I'm going to be grabbing right here, and just, kind of saved me, could have saved me a little bit of time stopping by the healing house. But after that, we're going to have our little date with N. He is, of course, no problem. Same thing with all of the gym leaders. We pretty much just one-shot everything with flamethrower, and we have a couple ethers that we picked up along the way, so we can keep that PP topped off and then face off with Elisa. 4th gym leader time, and we're just going to click charcoal boosted flamethrowers and everything is going to die. So we actually outspeed the Emolgas. That's pretty nice. Zebstrega does outspeed us, hits us with a very weak spark. Thankfully does not actually paralyze us because I did not pick up any paralyzed heals. That would have been annoying, but not the end of the world. And then there we go. Let's go ahead and meet up with Cheren over on Route 5. I do learn Dragon Breath on the way through this fight, so we're going to drop Dragon Rage, and, did us great use, but we don't really need it anymore. And then we can beat up a couple toddlers and head into Driftvale City. Same Driftvale City, we grab the PP up and the ether in the grass over there because, of course, we are going to be spamming pretty much one move the entire game, so I want some extra PP ups. And as we make our way through the cold storage, I do run into a couple optional trainers accidentally, because I swear to God these guys can read your inputs. I swear, it's so annoying. Of course, plasma gauntlets, no problem. So we're gonna grab the expert belt in the market on our way to the gym, power through them, and meet up with our 5th gym leader, Clay. So I was a tiny bit apprehensive about this fight. I was a little worried that Palpitoad would come out second and lower my speed because I couldn't one-shot it. But no, his Excadrill does have Rock Slide, and the AI on its switch-in AI does not actually see stab on its moves. So with Rock Slide being a higher base power, the Excadrill actually comes out second. So no worries with that. We just waste our time a little bit on the Palpitoad healing up and stuff, and there we go, easy peasy. So let's go grab our Max Repels, take care of Bianca on our way out of town, and head into Chargestone Cave. The Chargestone Gauntlets, of course, can be completely free. We get to fight N at the very end here. Nothing really interesting, but I think this is the first time we get to see Turbo Blaze in action, powering right through that sturdy. And everything else is just going to go down, of course, to Reshiram's flamethrowers. No problems there whatsoever. So we head out to Route 7. We got a PP up in the grass right there. We climb the tower, heal up at the Fatfish Nurse, and meet up with Skyla at the top. At the top of the tower, we can ring that bell to send Skyla back to the gym, and it also lets me say, hey, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching this video. If you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing. I do these solo challenges in Pokemon Black and White at least once a week. I am kind of blitzing and blasting my way through this one because, we're playing Reshiram. This thing is not going to struggle at any point in this entire game, pretty much. So, but this is definitely not the norm, so I definitely go into a lot more detail on some of my other videos. But, as I said earlier on in the video, you can definitely go check out that playlist link down below and stuff to see some more, kind of struggle a little bit more. Those are, in my opinion, the more interesting runs. But overall though, this has been a ton of fun so far, making these solo challenges videos, and all the interactions and stuff. I read every comment and stuff like that, and I really appreciate everybody that leaves them. So funny internet number going up makes me feel good. So if you want to make me feel good, go do that. So anyway, enough of all the YouTuber nonsense spiel. until let's go ahead and face off with Skyla. Alright, Skyla, so she leads off with a Swoobat. It could potentially outspeed us. Nope, not a chance. Unpheasant comes out. That's going to drop. Swana's going to come out. I'm going to go for Ancient Power. I've held on to Ancient Power just for that, pretty much. And there we go. We got our 6th gym badge. No problems whatsoever. Let's head out to Route 7 and meet up with Cheren. So as I face off with Cheren here, I run into the closest thing to a problem that we have had in this entire run. Dewat comes out, I can't quite one-shot it, and then he confuses me with Water Pulse, so I actually get brought into the red. Fake Out from Liepard brings me even lower, but I snap out of confusion. I have Ancient Power for the Semisear. Yeah, the closest that we have gotten so far this run to even, you know, remotely a problem, and it was Cheren getting us confused. So yeah, we can't lose to anything. We can pretty much only lose to ourselves. So let's top up, make our way through Twist Mountain, no problems. We will battle the Excluding guide for an extra PP up, and then pop out on the other side at Icarus City, where we can face off with Bryson. Alright, Dragon Spiral time, and it's time for story time. So since this is September, I'm kind of celebrating the anniversary of these games. Of course, I'm kind of celebrating the initial release out over in Japan. They didn't come out until March in America. But, you know, that's okay. I guess I'm just going to reminisce a little bit about some stuff that I did with these games. So, when they first came out, I was still in the military. I was in the Air Force, and I was living on the base, you know. I was with my wife at the time, now, you know, was my girlfriend then. And, yeah, we were just kind of hanging out in there, and I got really into playing the game. So whenever the Victini event came out, where you could, you know, download the you know, like the Liberty ticket and stuff like that, I couldn't get it to work on the Wi-Fi at my, you know, like barracks or dorm, whatever you want to call it, and I had to go to the library, but because my wife was not supposed to be, you know, kind of living with me. Like, I kind of had to leave her in the room. So, yeah, I just kind of packed up all my stuff, like got my DS and all that fun stuff, got in my car, and I went and I sat in the parking lot of the library for like 2 hours. And while my poor girlfriend was just sitting in the room by herself while I'm just in the parking lot of the library playing Pokemon, trying to catch Victini. And yeah, like, I don't know what, maybe, it was like 2 hours it took me to catch the little thing, because I didn't know where to go, I didn't know what to do. You know, I wasn't really YouTube literate or anything. I couldn't look up a tutorial or something. I just kind of tried to figure it out myself. Eventually, I figured it out, caught Victini, and I made my way back. And yeah, my poor girlfriend was just sitting there on the bed, just so bored. I felt so bad. But hey, I caught Victini, and that was pretty cool. So, yeah, just a fun little funny story. Just, you know, one of the first things that I did when I was playing the game, and I definitely was a terrible boyfriend that night, but prioritizing catching my Victini over, you know, spending time with her, but that's okay. So let's go ahead, fly on out of here, continue on with the run. I'm gonna stop by Anvil Town to grab a really quick rare candy here, and then make my way into the desert. Pretty much nothing interesting in the desert. I'm going to grab the TM for Shadow Ball and a rare candy on my way out before we meet up with everybody at Snackreen and get a funny looking rock, and we can finally progress with the rest of the run. Alright, Bianca, time for your contractually obligated showing, and I forgot to restore my PP, so yeah, I actually, you know, have to take this fight a lot slower than it probably should have been. So Yeah, I don't know why I'm going for extra sensory here. I probably should just be going for Dragon Breath, but it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty much just two-shotting everybody. I also didn't teach Shadow Ball. I definitely should have. So, you know, honestly, this run could be kind of improved even more on top of how, you know, breakneck fast this thing has already been. I could still make improvements on this run, which is kind of crazy. So let's cross the bridge, meet up with Getsus and his ninjas over here. We're not going to pick up any calciums as we make our way through Route 9. We can just plow through the entire gym, top up our PP right before facing off with our final gym leader. Alright, time to face off with Daddy Drayden. He has a fracture. Of course, he's weak to dragon. We have Stab Dragon Breath. Sure, it's not the strongest move, but that is more than enough for us to power through. So there we go. Easy peasy. 8th gym badge down. Let's go meet up with Cheren on Route 10. Alright, with topped off PP for the most part, we're going into this fight with no problems. Unfeasant's going to go down, Samurot's going to come out. I'm going to go for a flamethrower into a Dragon Breath so I don't trigger any torrent shenanigans, and yeah, everything else is just going to drop, no problems whatsoever. So we don't have ancient power for the Simisear anymore, but you know, that's okay. That's not even close to a threat to us, and there we go, no problem. So let's go ahead, make our way through Victory Road. I'm gonna do just very minimal training. We don't need a whole lot, but I do want to get to level 54, and I do on the Doctor, where we learn Dragon Pulse just in time for the League. Alright, let's go. Grimsley's up first. We have charcoal boosted flamethrower, and the Scrafty actually barely lives. But, you know, it's not really a threat to us. It just hits us for a really weak amount of damage. And, yeah, we're just going to flamethrower everything else. The Intimidate doesn't matter. Light Part doesn't even waste our time with Fake Out. Awesome. And Bisharp goes down. So, yeah, if I was here at level 55, I think I actually would have got that thanks to damage rounding. So, yeah, once again, we can still improve on this run, which is absolutely insane, but not today. Let's face off with our next member. Alright, Caitlin's up next, and what do you know? We're going to click those Expert Belt boosted Shadow Balls, and everything is going to drop. No problems whatsoever. That's cool. So, Musharna goes down. It actually lives. It does have very good special defense, but in the next one, we just drop it. Gothitelle is last up. That also lives too, but yeah, these Pokemon just aren't a threat. So yeah, I think if I was just, once again, just a little bit higher level, because I might want to come into that one at 56, might get those better ranges, but I don't know. So let's go ahead, top off, and face off with our third member. Alright, Chantal is up next, and let's go. So once again, Expert Belt boosted Shadow Ball is our strongest option. We're going to click that into the Golurk. That's going to go down. Jellicent's going to come out and go for Shadow Ball. It does live. I'm going to switch it up to Dragon Pulse because I don't want Cursed Body messing me up for the Chandelure. And there we go. So that's going to go down. Easy peasy. Moving on to our fourth member. So we hit level 56 at the end of that Chantal fight, and I spent all 4 of those rare candies I picked up just so I got a good favorable range onto that throw to get the one shot. Don't have to worry about the Sock Sturdy like I mentioned before, and yeah, everything else is just going to drop to a flamethrower. Awesome. So yeah, let's go ahead, head downstairs, and see how Alder is dealing with N. N summons his gigantic castle out of the ground somehow, and it's going to be up to us to chase him down through it because Alder just couldn't manage against a legendary Pokemon like his Zekrom. So don't worry, buddy. We got one of our own. We're not going to have any problems. So make our way through the castle. No need for the rare candy. We're already at level 60. And whenever we catch the Reshiram, something very interesting. I didn't actually know if you have a Reshiram in your party already, you don't actually have to deny adding the Reshiram to it, so we can go straight into the fight. Very cool. Let's do this. Alright, so of course N leads off with Zekrom, we lead off with Reshiram, but we are much higher level than the one that we would have caught. We just go straight for a Dragon Pulse. Caracosta comes out, no worries with Sturdy thanks to Turbo Blaze right here, and we can continue the onslaught. Kling Kling's going to come out, I'm going to flip it up to Flamethrower, that's going to go down, Vanillux gets absolutely roasted, and last but not least is going to be that Zoroark. That's going to go down, of course, no problems whatsoever, and there we go. Getsus is going to come in, throw his little tantrum one last time, and it's going to be up to us to take him down. Alright, let's do this, Getsus. So he leads off with the Cofagrigus. Expert Belt boosted Shadow Ball. It's going to easily drop that thing. Bouffalant's going to come out. It actually lives. We get a burn. So the Earthquake he goes for does absolutely nothing, which is just kind of hilarious. Seismitoad's going to come out. He does have a lot of really bulky Pokemon, and all he does is just set up Rain Dance, though. No problems. Even in the rain, Bisharp ain't living that Flamethrower. Hydreigon, we outspeed you, knock you out with the Dragon Pulse, and all that's left is the Electros. Does barely hang on, but it can't really do anything, and there we go. We have completed the game, and holy crap, look at that time. Absolutely ridiculous. Of course, we end our timer at the end of N's final dialogue, but yeah, no joke, this is probably the shortest video that I've made on the channel, and for good reason, because this Pokemon struggled at no point in the entire game, and as we get a final time of 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 52 seconds with, of course, 0 blackouts and resets, this thing is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah. Now granted, I did say that I did change some settings, so my emulator is running a lot faster than normal. So yeah, that's definitely something to do with that. But still, you know, this Pokemon basically just runs through, clicks A, one-shots everything for the vast majority of the game, and has no issues whatsoever. And on top of that, we could still improve this run. I pointed out just a couple things, which is absolutely ridiculous. So let's wrap this up and rank this guy. And there we go, a final in-game time of 3 hours and 59 minutes. That is actually kind of crazy. I think that's the first sub 4 hour in-game time I've had. Maybe? I don't remember, but like that is crazy strong. So yeah, and as we bring in the tier list, this thing completely breaks the tier list. I'll be honest, I haven't made the tier list yet, because I'm going to have to just completely make a new tier list for this thing, because it's just, you know, ruined everything. It's the outlier of outliers right now. So yeah, this video was a lot shorter than my usual videos, but honestly, I really appreciate that, because especially after the Conkeldurr versus Gigalith video, I put a lot of time into that one. So having something nice and short and sweet to knock out pretty easy, and hopefully it's going to be the same thing with, you know, the Zekrom video next week and Kyurem later on, and maybe I can actually start getting caught up a little bit more, which would be really nice. But anyway, that's going to be it for me today, though, guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, happy birthday, and shout outs to Speedrunner0218. Go check him out. He's a cool dude. And yeah, overall, this has been a fantastic run. It's going to be definitely really fun, because now I have to go back and re-rank everything again. So, but that's okay. I don't mind. I get to play the game that I love even more. So that's pretty cool. So that's going to be it for me today, though, guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. I love you all. Deuces.